Okay, I want to briefly talk about opposites attracting. And people say, why do, the saying, why do all the bitches get the men or whatever, and why do the good women always go for the thugs or always go for the bad guy? Because in a lot of cases, I mean, in the in the black community, it's like, why do these good women always go for the thugs and no good ain't shit niggas or whatever however they like to speak, right? But just in general, women, sometimes decent women tend to go for what you would call bad guys, but at the same time, sometimes the good guys tend to go for the bad girls. Somebody explained this in a very good way that I can't remember how he said it, but I understood it, but I just can't remember exactly how he said it, even though I understood it. With this kind of matrix, I'm gonna tell you the way I understand it. With this kind of matrix, which has been in duality, I just get the feeling that it seems like opposites had to come together in a type of a matrix that's in duality. It almost seemed like it had to be some kind of a balance for the decent woman to get with the bad guy and the good guy to get with the bad girl. It almost seemed like it needed to be some kind of balance. I know that don't sound right, but I don't have my morals in this at all. I'm looking at the way it's done and the way I'm going to say that particular matrix. I'm not going to say it as if it's in existence right now, because that kind of matrix exists in the mind anyway. Okay, that exists in the mind. All of that is mind. So I don't want to claim saying, as if it's this matrix, basically saying I'm trying to stay there, because I don't want to stay in that type of mind. But, you've heard of mind, the matrix. But I really do believe it's because of duality. And I believe that a lot of times opposites had to attract. But you know what? It's not even in relationships, though. It's not even in relationships. It's even in friendships. Have you ever noticed that you had somebody, might not necessarily be your friend, just somebody that you're talking to, and they talking about how they were so good to this person just did them so wrong, and they were so nice and so sweet and so giving to this person. And have you noticed that you try to be the friend that they didn't have because they fussing about how they were so good to everybody else, not everybody else, but how they were so good, and they want to complain about how somebody else treated them, be it a man or a female, because I've seen it on both sides, right? They complaining about how somebody else treated them so wrong. And then when they finally get what they claim they deserve, I'm saying claim because if your energy and your soul or whatever, see, here's the thing: when you say out your mouth and fuss about you wanting something, and then it comes and then you're self-sabotaging, that means that deep down you really weren't ready for it. Deep down, that's not something that you wanted. Because if you run something good away, then that's not what you wanted in the first place. You're saying out your mouth on the top of your head, that's what you want. But deep down, that's not what you wanted. And you can always rewrite your soul story, by the way. I mean, and somebody else has said that too, so I don't want to take that. But you can always rewrite your soul, because, let me tell you why. Because a lot of what people really call their soul in this particular matrix, it's really everything that they have gone through, from being raised as a child, from their environment, from everything they've learned, and from their values and everything pretty much put on them. That's pretty much that's in this type of matrix, that's what people call their soul. And that's why I'm saying you can rewrite your soul. Now, the other person that talk about rewriting your soul, I don't know if that's what they meant, but that's the way I've learned it with all the work I had to do on myself. That's the way I learned it. Is that your soul in this particular kind of matrix, because this particular kind of matrix is a reverse. It's not the real world, it's in reverse. That's why people say you're in hell, because it's in reverse. And so when you're in reverse, I just want to put it out there just a little bit. If you're in reverse, what you call your soul is not your actual. Well, listen. What some people call a soul is not their real soul. Their real soul is somewhere else. I'm saying some people, because not everybody that you see is organic. Let me say it like that. Not everybody that you see is organic. Don't matter what color they are. Not everybody that you see is an organic type of spirit. Okay? So, this soul that's created in this kind of world in reverse, what you would call your soul is basically your personality, your solar plexus, your personality, make up what makes you uniquely you. Okay, but it's a false soul though. It's a false. Now for me, because, and I'm gonna get more into, I actually talk about a lot of this on my other page called Journey into Highest Potential on my other channel. I just can't upload to that channel right now. I talk about a lot of this. So you know if this is a false soul, and if you know you're in reverse, I mean, that means you got to know that, you know, it's a big possibility of being a clone. It's a big possibility of being a clone. Okay? So even if somebody do something to you, put some kind of whatever kind of stuff to trap your soul, which has happened to me as a little girl, well, I've come into the understanding that who I really am has been somewhere else this whole time anyway, and I'm in a hallucination of my own mind. Okay, which means that, okay, was I ever born? Okay, well, if you know you're in a matrix and you know you're timeless, then you know you were never born. And so you know you don't have birthdays for real. Okay, because you know time is just a construct of this whole thing, because that's the only way things can die. If you're on a time, you got to be on the clock in order to die. To me, that causes fragmentation. To me, that causes people to be fragmented. But anyway, that's just me. So you know, so I don't really get too deep into if something happened to my soul and all that stuff. I used to worry about that, but nothing has happened to my real soul. This is the false person. But I want to get back to what I was saying, because see, this is what I do. This is the kind of stuff I would talk about on the other channel when I used to upload, and I guess I'm going to start talking about this kind of stuff over here. Okay, because I haven't been on this channel for probably a good 2 years, and now I'm gonna get back to, you know, uploading. Okay, but yeah, so I was just talking about why opposites attract and stuff. You know, and I just really felt like people get so upset. Why such and such? It's like, well, yeah, I used to get upset about that too when I didn't get it. But as you get more mature, you see that it had to probably go that way in this kind of, you're in the reverse type of world. In a reverse world, that's just how it works. And you're in a world of duality. It just seems like that's how it works. Even though people are unhappy. That's just how it works to keep that kind of world in some kind of a balance. But it seems like it's going more towards that world. It seems like it's going more towards the dark than being balanced. It looked like it's going tipping towards the other way. You know. Okay. And so... but yeah, that's all I want to talk about. This wasn't going to be long, and I will talk later.